Hello and welcome to the 99 number episode of the Friday Nightmare podcast. It only took us, 4.5 years to get here, but here we are. We are 99, one off from 100, baby. One off.
We're at the penultimate episode.
This is it. So if you're joining us for the first time, you got to go back and listen to all 98 episodes.
Yep.
For anything we say to make sense. My name is Heather Powell, and I am one half of the premium professional, basically special edition. Anything that you can think of that only releases once in a while, that's the Friday Nightmares podcast. And I am from Waterdown, Ontario, Canada. And with me is
Mr. Smoke Show Crawford, coming to you from the town of Swartz Creek, in the county of Genesee, in the state of Michigan, in the United States of America, in the North American continent, in the Western Hemisphere, on the planet Earth, in the Milky Way galaxy. I'm fully vaxxed, boosted, and waxed, and ready to climax. And if you can, please get me wet and feed me after midnight. I'm the man with the glorious beard, a.k.a. the mother of cats, a.k.a. the man with the humongous ego, a.k.a. Scotthausen, a.k.a. Scotty Too Hottie, a.k.a. Spanky, and of course, like Heather said, one half of the premium podcasting duo that is the Friday Nightmares podcast. You won't get any better anywhere else, folks, especially from those dummies of horror guys.
Yeah, no. Like, talk about overachievers. Don't they have like 100 and 200 episodes and shit like that? Honestly.
Yeah, it's like,
who tries that hard?
When you really, like I was just talking about, with Magic the Gathering, when you release too many sets, you burn people out and you just don't want to keep up anymore.
Yeah, we definitely don't burn anybody out.
So, we release when we feel like it, and we just wait for we give the people that anticipation.
Oh yeah.
Show.
Yeah. We're like virgins that wait till marriage. Tim and Daniel fuck on the first date. Not even the end of the date. They're already under the table. And it's just at like Applebee's.
I mean, hell, Tim says hi to me and he puts a finger in my butt.
Yeah. Gosh, some purity here. Fuck, not like Scott and I, who have kept ourselves very pure.
100% pure.
Very pure. Absolutely. Matt Wood's like, I'm pretty sure Heather's a slut. Like, I don't know where this is coming from. But Heather's constantly harassing me online and bothering me. But 99 episodes. Oh, yeah. 100% I do. Well, we've had 99 episodes where we started off very
serious. Bitch ain't one.
Yeah. And Horror for Dummies ain't one. Actually, that's not true. We have done some crossovers with them. But yeah, it's been 99 episodes of Scott and I at one time taking ourselves very pompous and seriously, and slowly, as time goes on, the truth has come out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, eventually our personalities leaked out and we just said, you know what? Fuck it.
We're just two little trash pandas going through.
That just want attention.
We are. Every time I see the raccoons going through stuff, it really reminds me of you and I finding horror movies to watch.
Yeah, especially honestly. You lately, because you are watching everything under the sun, where I'm just kind of grabbing what I can when I can.
I'm a real podcaster, Scott. That's
you are.
People like Tim Davis and Rob Humphreys of the world just need a role model to look up to.
True.
Same with the Matt Woods.
100%. 100%.
Like they all have Kate to look up to, but they need someone else too. You know what I mean?
They need another. Kate is a strong woman figure. They also need another strong woman figure.
That's it.
The queens have to share the crown.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We're all just passing that crown around. That's how it is. Daniel's like, I want a crown.
I mean, Daniel is the top queen of them all.
Honestly, he's the best. He's the best.
I mean,
besides Rob.
how can you dislike Luffy? I mean, he's the one that edits and puts the show together for Dummies of Horror. Without him, Tim would be lost.
When I think of horror knowledge, I think of Luffy.
100%.
You know what I mean? When I think of like quality opinions in horror, I think of him and me, of course.
Oh, of course. And actually, I just kind of came up with some. This is more just a personal poke at Tim. You know how they have the Tom Cruise does his own stunts thing that they do over
Mm-hmm.
there on their show?
Mm-hmm.
Heather, did you know Luffy produces, edits, and creates Dummies of Horror? He
I had
basically is
no idea.
he's basically the Tom Cruise. He does his own stunts.
Like, he's not the dummy. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I He's such a role model. I just wish I could be more like him.
I do too.
Right? But we'll just have to settle for being two basic two basic trash pandas who dig out the finest that Plex and Tubi have to offer. That's right.
Oh, 100%.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But we'll start it off because we want this to be quick and dirty. Just like
I
Scott
like
and I.
my sex life.
No. You're pure, Scott. Remember,
Oh,
you and
like
Erica
I
are
want,
saving yourself.
like I hope my sex life will be one day.
When someone takes your special flower. Right?
Exactly.
Right? So we'll jump right into it. We'll jump right into it with a British film.
Oh boy.
And Matt Wood's not in it. But he could be, but he's not. It's a pretty right wing film. I don't know. I feel like Matt's probably like a super right wingist. You know what I mean? Like, he probably would come over here and be like, you know what? Trump's got it right. But this
They're
is called
eating the dogs and the cats.
and the dogs and the cats. The Apocalypse Box. Not everyone holds the key to success. Piers Stone Smith, right-wing politician, like over-the-top right-wing politician. Keep Britain British is his saying, which is ironic because right now in Britain there are people that feel that way. Hashtag thanks America for influencing everybody. On the election eve, he gathers 6 strangers to unlock a wish-granting box. Ella, his spin doctor, faces chaos, scandal, and temptation with the mysterious box. It's ironic because Britain invaded everywhere, so I find it hilarious that they now want to keep Britain British. I guess they got nothing else left. They're like,
right.
we lost all our other places. Anyway,
Everybody else left us, so might as well do our own thing here.
this is like an escape room gone bad. Though it's not an escape room. Basically, the plot line is of the first lady of this politician is not very popular, so he's losing the election because no one likes her. Feel like that's not the problem here, but that's fine. And they all have this like focus group. It's put as a focus group, but it's this random box. It's actually based on my box that's put into a room.
You hear
my
that,
box
Matt Wood?
Horror stuff. Matt, calm yourself. Gosh, Matt's so unethical and not pure. Not like me. You know what I mean?
100%. 100%.
Right? Honestly, Matt. But anyway, back to the box. So they put this box. It looks like a cheap, I don't know, one of those like chests that they got at fucking Value Village or like some reused store. And they have this like old school key and they're tempted to open it. And when they open it, their wishes come true, but not the wishes they want. You know, there's a cost to the wishes, Scotty.
Like, be careful what you wish for. Oh boy.
We've never seen this before. Never seen it in the Wishmaster series. Never seen it in the Wish Upon movie that came out. Very new concept. But yeah, it's basically about a box that grants wishes that are not what you intend, which is basically my box. So,
good God,
this movie is not that great. I really don't recommend anyone watch it. I'll give people credit for putting together a low budget film. Maybe the Sandra Canes of the world could appreciate this. The Jason Grays of the world again could appreciate this for what it is. But it's going to be on Google Play, Amazon, and YouTube, and it's on Tubi for free. So if you want to watch it for free, it is on Tubi. It's politically heavy, strong political messages. So if that's not your thing, I really recommend not watching this. And a pretty predictable plot. So yeah, I don't know if any of those things are your thing. Check it out on Tubi. Don't check it out anywhere else. No one else has watched it, but me, because I'm a trendsetter. And
you are
very, 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 very fancy. And on a side note, I watched All My Friends Are Dead. I did enjoy it, Scott. You watched it.
I was gonna say, well, yeah, because I'm about to talk about it in the list.
Oh shit! Sorry, I didn't realize it was on the list.
Yeah, I put it on the list.
Oh wait, sorry. Yes. I thought you had watched it before.
No, that was one of the first ones I watched after we recorded.
All right. Well, do you want to jump to it now, then, and then I'll go back to the other one.
Sure. Yeah. So let me bring it up on Letterboxd real quick. But yes, All My Friends Are Dead, which is not to be confused with All My Friends Are Dead from like 2021, the Polish film that was freaking awesome.
That was on Netflix.
Yep, that was a Netflix one. This one's on Apple TV, Google Play, Amazon Prime, and Fandango. But the synopsis is actually let me give you the full title. Hashtag AMFAD. All my friends are dead. A group of college friends rent an Airbnb for the biggest music festival of the year, but their weekend of partying quickly takes a turn as the group is murdered one by one in
Oh
correspondence
no.
with the seven deadly sins. This is also directed by Marcus Dunstan, who I think did the crap, drawing a blank at the moment. The Collector, The Collection,
Mm.
a lot of good serious slasher
Mm.
films. And so I was kind of looking forward to it. I'm like, oh, this could be good then. And then this came out, and I immediately messaged Heather going, this humor is not for me, but it definitely seems like Heather humor. I was like, you should watch it. Let me know what you think. And then as it continued, I was getting really annoyed at the first half of this film just because of the ridiculous humor and stuff like that. But then by the last half of the film, it started picking up. Kills started happening, some pretty gruesome ones here and there. But ended up having a good time with it. But it's been 2 weeks and I've already forgotten a lot of it. So it's sitting around a 6 out of 10 for me, where it's obviously just not that memorable for me.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to describe that. Jojo Siwa is in this.
I forgot about that. Yeah, Jojo Siwa.
Siwa. And I feel like that's what this movie is riding on. I don't know. This is a social medium.
In it that long.
No, this is a social media, critique on bullying, critique on life, with a really poorly strung together plot line. I would agree the kills are decent. Again, I've always been a sucker for these teenage, turn your brain off films.
Mm-hmm.
It's no Killer Book Club, but I don't know. This seemed really annoying. I kind of called, and I feel as though sometimes when you say things like, oh, I called the movie, I get to some point, there's always some plot points. If you've seen enough horror movies, like professional podcasters like Scott and I have seen, like maybe if you weren't like Tim Davis or Rob Humphreys, you wouldn't catch it. But like, because we're so worldly and these bangers we've come out with so far in this podcast today. I think you could figure it out, early on. You figure out that things aren't what they seem,
Yeah.
Right?
And since you started talking about it, brought up Jojo Siwa, and it just kind of clicked to me. I'm like, okay, now I'm remembering other things. And yeah, I just don't know if I'm just getting old and just starting to suffer from memory loss more or what. But yeah, this one, movies need to be a little better than this to stick with me nowadays. Like you either gotta be absolutely terrible so I can bash on you, or you gotta be like something stunning that sticks with me. And this was just kind of in the middle, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree. You gave it 3 stars. I think actually you probably meant to give that 2.5 because I think I think if you watched it again, you might. Well, the kills were good.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
it's about a 5.5 out of 10, 6 out of 10 for me.
Okay.
Where it's like
Okay.
it was entertaining, and I wouldn't skip over it if I was channel surfing.
Well, it's available on Apple TV, Google Play, Microsoft Store, YouTube, and Screenbox. So if you have Screenbox and you want to watch something that's like easy to watch, it is an 91-minute runtime, so it doesn't really overstay its welcome. This isn't something that I think you need to hunt down and watch. I think it has a basic like, don't bully, online shit is bad message. And me personally, I don't know. I don't think it delivered it well. I think there's other movies this year that delivered that a little bit better than this one did. Yeah, anyway, if you're interested, that's where it's available. I would say Screenbox subscribers, knock your socks off. Everyone else,
right?
It's okay.
Yeah, you don't have to worry.
Right. So Netflix is coming back into the horror game, and this time they brought some big guns when the name of Glenn Close in this movie.
So this movie, okay.
Yeah, The Deliverance. Every family has its demons. So this is based on a true story of Bonnie Jackson, a struggling single mother fighting her personal demons, moves into her family's new home for a fresh start, but when strange occurrences inside the home raises suspicions of Child Protective Services and threaten to tear the family apart, Ebony soon finds herself locked in a battle for her life and the soul of her children. I don't know how close this was to the actual story. I do think anytime you watch Glenn Close in a movie, her performance is exceptional. Same with Andrea Day, who plays Ebony Jackson. Anthony B. Jerkins is in this. He's actually been in some. He was in Never Let It Go this year as well. So another young man getting some work in the acting field in the horror community, which is great. I think the standout here is the performances. I'll be honest. The people in this perform very well and they carry a really shitty film. When I was watching this, I was like, man, the acting in this is out of this world. Like, I really bought Andrea Day's reaction to shit. The way she delivered some lines were quite powerful. But it suffered through a paint by numbers plot line and some really, I guess, for the average horror viewer, let's say you were watching Netflix and only Netflix and you only watched a handful of horror movies a year and you watch something like this, you probably would really enjoy it because you're not burnt out on the whole demon shit. You're not all burnt out on like the power of loving Christ can counter all, right? Like you're not burnt out on that shit, right? So I think there's something to be said here of why it was released on Netflix, and I do think there's people out there that are going to really enjoy this. But if you're an avid horror fan and you listen to podcasts such as Friday Nightmares, as well as Dummies of Horror and Slasher Radio, and the Internals,
Turtle Darkness is the Not So Spotless Mind.
Spotless Mind podcast. You've probably seen this plot line a million times. So I would say at 112-minute runtime, it is long, but the performances are good. But do I think it's something that you need to run out and watch? Not necessarily. It is available on all the Netflix, both in Canada and the United States. So maybe if you're, have a partner or a friend, or you want something that, someone who hasn't watched a lot of horror movies will enjoy, the acting of this is good and the story is fine, but it's just very much like seen it all before kind of thing. Doesn't do anything new, except I will say the acting is quite good.
Okay, because I've heard a lot of people talking about this one and almost say they enjoy the movie until the horror actually happens. Like they almost say this would have been better as a serious drama instead of a horror film.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think the horror is fine, but it's just predictable.
Right.
For seasoned horror fans.
Yeah. And obviously the people I'm listening to talk about it are seasoned horror fans.
Right. So, but it is available on the Netflix. It's for some reason. I gotta swallow. Hold on. Tim's here. Sorry.
Good God.
Tim's like, no, I'm not. It gets on a plane, flies over.
Like, I wish.
But no, I swallowed a piece of apple. I'm just kidding. I swallowed a piece of apple. And if I choked on it, it would be karma definitely coming back to get me. But yeah, it is available on the Netflix if anyone is interested. The next one, I actually saw it being filmed. Insert here, flip here. This was filmed completely at Dundas Conservation in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Completely. Even the creepy cabin. All of it. Because I couldn't go down the path one day, and I was like, why can't I go down the path? Well, that's because they were filming this shit. So, anyway.
Yeah, I remember you messaged me and Brandon when this was filming going, I think I just stumbled across a horror film being made. Actually legit being made there. I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah. So this is called Out Come the Wolves. As now we are the prey. At a cabin deep in the wilderness, a weekend of hunting turns into mayhem and a fight for survival when a pack of wolves attack a man, his female best friend, and her fiancé. That's a nice little general statement. I think this is a pretty nice little survivor film at a 87-minute runtime. It doesn't overstay its welcome. If you like survival in the wilderness, you will probably enjoy this.
Okay.
This is probably the same dude who wrote Backcountry.
Really?
Yeah. So, I will say if you like Backcountry, this isn't as good as Backcountry, but I would say it is. It's weird. I would have thought that he would have done this one first and then Backcountry, because I do think Backcountry is a better movie. But that's not how this went. But if you like survival, you like dynamics in friendships, and you want that all packed in nicely to an 87-minute runtime, this movie is for you. I do think it's worth the rental if that's what you're into. You know what I mean? Like if that's what you like, I would say it's worth the rental. Some very good special effects in this. Not necessarily on-screen kills, but some great special effects, which I really, really appreciated. And if you live in the Hamilton area, you get to see the Dundas Conservation Park, and you can be like, "Well, I know where everything is." So there's that. So
That's
this is
awesome.
yeah, really, like, I'll be real, that's a big part of this. So Apple TV is where you can find this bad boy. Google Play, Amazon Video, YouTube, and Fandango. I would say watch this if you like survival films. If you
Hell yeah.
don't bother. But it is only an 87-minute runtime, so it does not outstay its welcome.
I was like, yeah, this is one that I've been looking at and going, this sounds pretty good. I would
Yeah,
like
I
to
think
check it out.
watching it. It'd be a good at work watch.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Right? This one, holy
Oh,
fuck.
I still want
Nicolas
to see this
Cage.
one.
Nicolas Cage, baby. Long legs. Say your prayers. In pursuit of a serial killer, an FBI agent uncovers a series of occult clues that she must solve to end his terrifying killing spree. Michael Moreau's in this one, same with Nicolas Cage. Mixed reviews on this one. We got Matt Wood giving this a 4-star, Tim giving it a 2.5. Any other podcasters? Paul Stevenson, we all remember Paul, is doing 4 stars here. Brandon Young has it at 4.5. So I think it's all going to very much depend on personal preference and choices. I think Nicolas Cage is an exceptional performer here. He plays the villain in this extremely well. This is very much the director is Oz Perkins. This is very much an Oz Perkins film. There's a way Oz Perkins makes his movies. If you've seen Hansel and Gretel and Blackcoat's Daughter, you know what I'm talking about. There's a filming
Oh boy.
style he does. There's kind of that slow developing dialogue that he likes to do. The movie is very much paced at like slow, cautious steps. And if you like that style, then you will like this film. If you are not an Oz Perkins fan, this may be a struggle for you to get through.
Okay. And I'm
Okay.
kind of like on the fence with him. I can go
Yeah.
back and forth.
Yeah. I respect him a lot as a director.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he does things different, and I enjoyed this film, but I did find it dragged out a little bit at 101-minute runtime. But I
Fair.
felt the same way about Hansel and Gretel.
Yep, same.
I thought it was a good movie, but because we saw that together, and I did feel it dragged out.
Yeah, but I was
Right?
saying, I think the same thing with, was it Pretty Thing That Lives in the House or whatever that one was
Oh
called?
yeah, and he didn't do Black Coat's Daughter, did he? He did.
Yes,
Three
he
Little
did
Pigs.
Black.
Sorry. Oh, you
He
did. Okay.
Black Coat Star as well. That's the
Okay.
one movie of his that I really liked was Black Coat's Daughter. The other
Okay.
ones I'm kind of
Yeah, like this could be hit or miss for you.
Right.
I will say that Micah Moreau, like, fuck, I'll take her any day of the week. I think she's an incredible actress. I think I enjoy her in every movie she's in. I think she plays her role in this well. I really liked her in The Watcher last year. Everyone knows how much I liked her in It Follows.
Yeah,
I don't
she's
know,
great. She's
right?
also amazing in The Guest, and but then yeah, having her and Nicolas Cage doing Nicolas Cage in the most Nicolas Cage way is what I'm here for. So that's what I'm excited to check out, just to see all that, like see them two interact, and then just to see how this is, because yeah, I have heard a lot of praise, and then I've heard people like Tim who are just like, not for me.
Yeah, and I think that's really what it comes down to is, do you like Oz Perkins or do you not like Oz Perkins? Like, I'm going to be real here. He has a style that he does. It's continuous, and sometimes it works for you and sometimes it doesn't. Be prepared for that,
Right.
and sign up for it if you're interested. So I can see this being on people's end of the year lists easily. I don't know where it's going to fall on my list. I would definitely put it in the top 20 movies that I watched of this year. I do
All
think
right.
it's that's high quality. I just don't know if it's going to stick with me as much as other ones have. But very,
Gotcha.
very good film. I would never criticize anyone for having it up there. And where you can find it right now is for rent. Amazon, Apple TV, Google Play, Microsoft Store, and in Canada, I do believe it's on Cineplex. It is. So it's worth it. And it's the really high rental price right now, the $20. But I do think at a $20 rental cost, it is worth it if you like Oz Perkins and if you like this kind of stuff.
Fair.
Again, if you don't, then you may want to skip this bad boy. And the next one is you, my friend.
Yes, I'll say to the audience right now, like, yep, it's been slow going on the 2024s for me these last couple of weeks, but part of that is because Erica and I binged an entire movie franchise so I could actually watch Part 8 and count it for 2024. And that is called, the franchise is called The Blackwell Ghost, which is a found footage series. So I'm going to talk about my older films here because it ties into Part 8.
Cool.
But yeah, we watched parts 1 through 7 before we watched the Part 8, obviously, just so we knew what was going on. And these are movies that I've always seen the cover of, but never pulled the trigger on because the cover just kind of looks very generic. And when there's that many sequels, you're starting to go, okay, and you're pumping them out fairly quick. This can't be that good. Well, and I will say, and it starts off, the first two movies kind of start off as paranormal activity style, where this guy wants to be a ghost hunter, goes to like this locally haunted house, stays a weekend and tries to record happenings that are going on, and it's kind of a slow burn, but because there's nothing that really happens. But the main guy, who is also the director of these movies, is very good on screen to the point where we just kept watching because we're like, okay, we like this guy, and he's like, it feels like you're almost watching like a ghost hunter's reality show as it's going, but not like the ridiculous one where it's like, oh, what is that? Oh, what is that? It's more, serious. But then part 3, 4, yeah, I think parts 3 through 7, if I remember correctly, take place in a different house. And parts 3 and 4 focus on this house out in Florida, like out in the middle of nowhere, Florida, by these swamps. Looks very just innocuous, like a little vacation home. Nothing scary about the place, and like just very small modular style home. But it also is haunted, so he's setting up there, and there's more story about his personal life going on, and it's building and building and building, and then you find out more about these ghosts aren't here to scare you; they are here to ask for your help in kind of finding out what happened to them, because these people were murdered and hid throughout the house, and he starts figuring this out and starts putting these clues together. And then part 5, or yeah, I'd say part of part 5 and then 6 and 7 kind of go this more, he starts being stalked by the killer route and like starts using the ghosts like information to kind of help him, and he starts putting pieces together, and by part 8, it kind of culminates into almost a conclusion of that story.
Okay.
But there's still a little bit more left to go. And he's already talking about making a part 9. But I will say, watching these back to back to back, like I normally don't binge watch. Like I can't do it. I get distracted and start playing on my phone. I was sucked in. Like I was completely enthralled.
You were here for it.
Yeah, like every single movie in this franchise is a 7 out of 10. Straight 7 out of 10. Like the most
nice,
like consistent franchise I have ever actually watched. It's quite incredible, and it was all done for super low budget, all done by this guy's by himself for the most part. And like, yeah, it's very fascinating. Like it goes from what you would expect and just kind of veers off in a different direction and goes into like this murder investigation style story. And yeah, quite fascinating. Like I am very happy we sat down and watched every one of these, and I'm for sure gonna watch part 9 when that comes out. Like
that's awesome.
I highly recommend this franchise if no one has seen it. I believe the first movie is available for free on Tubi, but I believe the rest have to be rented through Amazon right now, and they're all like $1.99, $2.99, and they're
so reasonable.
Yeah, they're well worth the rentals.
Oh, good, nice. Well, yeah. I'll eventually check that out when I'm done. Being carrying the weight of this podcast
that you are,
right?
Well, I mean, we will get a kind of a break before we do episode 100 because we're only going to be focused on our top of the couple of years, aren't we?
Well, if we still want to do that, Scott, I don't know. We haven't really talked about it.
I kind of do.
You still want to do that? Okay, then we'll do that. I wasn't sure what you wanted to do or not. We haven't really talked. We're just really busy.
Yeah, yeah, we are.
We're real popular fuckers. So, the one I'm going to talk about is the most recent Shudder drop as of this recording. Who knows when Scott will release this episode? The Demon Disorder. There is no cure. Have you seen it?
I was curious about this one. We started watching another Shudder one last night. Didn't finish it, but it was a different one. I think All You Need Is Death, I think is what it's called.
Oh, never mind. So it's not the most recent Shudder release then.
Well, I think this one, the one you're talking about, is. I think All You Need Is Death is we found it kind of in the list of movies.
Got it. Okay. The past of three brothers and their deceased father collide when a deep, dark family secret is unearthed, leading to the caves of revenge from beyond the grave. This is a new take on demon shit. I will say that, and the special and practical effects in this are definitely eye candy to witness. I did enjoy it. I think as a Shutter watch, it's something that you should see. It's sitting at an 86-minute runtime, so you're not going to be spending too much time with this one. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it
Nice.
for a demon film, and like demon films, I'll be honest, I feel like it's. I kind of am alluding to this earlier with some of the demon stuff in the Deliverance. Like I'm kind of like over the demons. You know,
See,
I think there's some films that do it well, but
if we're gonna do demons, give me shit like Demons 1 and 2. Give me shit like Evil Dead. Give me shit like that. Don't do this whole exorcism bullshit theme. I could care less nowadays.
yeah, it's just been overdone, right? But that being
Yeah.
said, it is a good film. I would say at an 86-minute runtime again, it doesn't overstay its welcome. Great practical effects, a good story. You are invested in the characters, and you very much care what happens to everyone. So, it is available on AMC Plus, Shutter, all the Shutters, and I would say support the Shuddy and watch it because
Hell
Shuddy
yeah.
does
Okay.
pick up these unique films, and you know what? If you're a true professional podcaster, you do the right thing and you watch these movies. The end
This
of
is true.
story. A movie that I don't think you need to watch is called The Well. Sorry, Sander Kane. I know you gave this 4 stars. A young restored traveler travels to a small village to restore a medieval painting to its former glory. She will put her life in danger due to the curse attached to the painting. Okay, I shouldn't be so harsh. This wasn't a horrible film. Okay. It kind of included two different plot lines in one plot line. And there was some very good torture in this and great special effects. But I found it very long. Matt
Mm.
talks about the story being a mixed bag, and I think that's a really good start. We have the start of a painting, and it kind of and one main character, but it jumps to some other characters, and then it jumps to some other characters, and it does have this really weird ending. It's an odd one. It kind of tries to do everything in one, which some people may love and other people may not. The rankings for this film is 3.5, 3, 4, 4, 3.5, 2.5. I would probably sit around a 3. I think it deserves a 3 for creativity, including some different concepts in it, trying to do something a little bit different. But would I be like, oh man, gotta watch by the end of the year? No, I don't. I would say the Demon Disorder over this one is a smoother, easier, more entertaining watch. So this is available on Apple TV, Google Play, Microsoft Store, YouTube, and Amazon if you're interested. I don't know. If you like kind of like torture porn mixed with curse shit, mixed with legends of youth and shit, then watch this movie. If that's not stuff you like, then skip it. It's a little convoluted and confusing at times. So, yeah, but yeah,
Fair
I'm really
enough.
excited to hear what you have to say about this next one, though.
Oh boy. All right. So the next one I'm gonna talk about is The Crow, directed by Rupert Sanders, who I just looked up to see what else he directed, and it explains a lot. He directed Snow White and the Huntsman. He also directed Ghost in the Shell. So, yep, makes sense now.
Good
But
movies.
decent movies, but we'll get there.
Mm, okay. Okay.
This is a 111-minute runtime. Little tagline: "True love never dies." Soulmates Erica and Shelley are brutally murdered when the demons of her dark past catch up with them. Given the chance to save his true love by sacrificing himself, Eric sets out to seek merciless revenge on the killers, traversing the worlds of the living and the dead to put the wrong things right. Now, before I get into this, I will say I like the original Crow. It's good. However, it is way, in my opinion, overrated.
Mm-hmm.
When I was younger, angsty Scott, that movie spoke to me. Everything about it was dark and gothic, and the music was amazing in it.
Mm-hmm.
Bra- but but what makes that movie memorable is Brandon Lee, and unfortunately, he suffered the consequences when making that movie.
Yeah.
That movie will go down in history and always be remembered, unfortunately, for part of that
Yep.
reason. But I went into this one not giving a shit that they remade The Crow. I could care less that they did because I'm like, okay, I'll give it a shot. It could be
Yeah.
good because I'm always willing to give something a shot. But I also went into this thinking I will treat this like one of the Crow sequels where it's, not Eric Draven's story, where it's someone else as the Crow, because, you have millions, or not millions, but you have tons of Crow comic books that you could have based this off of any characters. And why you decided to go and take that Eric Draven and Shelley story that had already been done and masterfully done and do it again makes no sense to me. You have so many other options. But now I will get to the actual movie. So I went in trying to not be judgmental, just kind of give it a chance. And while shot beautifully, it's got really good action sequences. It's got some really good gore scenes that made me go, oh shit, okay. However, when you're doing a story about the Crow, the cornerstone of the story is the love, relationship, romance side of this story because it is a tragic story.
Yeah.
It is like the gothic version of Romeo and Juliet in a way, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah.
These two die and because of the pain of them dying and being done wrong, the boyfriend comes back to enact revenge. However, these two, I love Bill Skarsgård. I think he's a great actor. But him and this, I guess, actress, I don't know, but FKA Twigs is her name. Literally FKA and then Twigs. I don't know who she is, but they were so bland, milk toast bad, no chemistry whatsoever.
That's
And
shitty.
where in the ones, and here's where I'm comparing it to the original, because I mean, obviously, The Crow is about relationship. Where the original didn't give us a lot of Eric and Shelley, didn't give us a whole lot, but what they gave us, you actually felt for Eric Draven. In this, they made both characters drug addicts that are meet in rehab, escape from rehab, are together for 2 days, then fall in love, and are saying "I love you" and this and that. And there's like it rushes everything, and I don't feel for these characters because it's like, okay, they're drug addicts that got themselves in these situations in the what the fuck are you doing, movie? And then yeah,
It
it's
sounds not great.
no, it's like I'm just sitting here just kind of like baffled by the story, like, huh? How is
Yeah.
what? Like, it doesn't make any damn sense why they would go this route. And then, where, yes, the Crow is supernatural. There is supernatural elements, but the villains in all of the Crow movies were grounded in real life villains, like gang members, mobster type people, people you just didn't fuck with that had power in the city.
Yeah.
They must be following the rules of the superhero bullshit that's going on nowadays, because you get a villain that has like demonic powers where he can convince people to do as he says, and he's got like this black magic and shit like that. It's like,
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
it's like, what? Why did we? What are we going? Are we doing a Marvel Universe thing here? What the fuck's going on here?
That's annoying.
Yeah. So if you like The Crow even just a little bit, I would say avoid this at all costs, because you are just going to be pissed off or just annoyed by it. And if you didn't care for the original and thought, oh, maybe this will be a good one, no, it's still not a good story. It's bad. Like it's straight up bad. Like the fact that it's a love story and there is no chemistry between the two characters to make you feel bad for them. What you failed miserably, movie. The only thing that's good is the action, and the action is only like the last 15 minutes of a 2-hour long movie.
Oh, so 10 out of 10 don't recommend, do you?
Yeah, this one blew my mind, like, because I'm like thinking, oh, it can't be that bad. Everyone's just being upsetty spaghetti because it's a remake of
spaghetti.
because it's a remake of one of their loved movies from the 90s, and I'm going, it's probably gonna be like okay. No, it was just bad. Like,
Well,
Bad.
it's out of theaters, right? I don't think it's in theaters anymore.
Yes, I believe it is available direct. Like it bombed in theaters.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But one other person I wanted to kind of say, like his name's Vic Grimes, gave a review, and he says, in order for a movie like The Crow to work, the cornerstone has to be a believable love story. Here, the love story is almost non-existent. I mean, there's a relationship between Eric and Shelley, but there's a complete lack of depth. Every other nonsensical thing that happens just drags it down even further. So yeah, basically what I said summed up.
Well,
But if you want to watch this train wreck of a movie, you can unfortunately only rent it on Apple TV, Google Play, Amazon Video, Fandango, and Microsoft Store. And I don't even recommend renting it. This was high budget trash. It was just not good. Like I gave it 2 stars, and I think I'm being generous.
oh my. Well, it's a hard pass on me. We won't be
Yeah.
watching that movie. So the one I'm going to talk about after that is similar in the sense that it's about fighting. It's called Fear the Night.
Ooh, okay.
Maggie Q's in this one. You may remember maybe Maggie Q from the Insurgents, or what is it, man? Insurgents? Divergent.
I recognize
Series.
the name.
Yeah, she was also in Fantasy Island. She was also in Death of Me that came out a couple years ago in 2020 as Christine. So she's been in a couple of horror films over the years. She produced this one, so I think that's why she was in it.
Okay.
During a bachelorette party in secluded California, masked intruders launch a brutal attack, forcing 8 women to fight for survival. The troubled military veteran unite them to defend themselves throughout a harrowing night. If you like invasion movies, like home invasion movies, this is a great, easy watch. The acting's decent, the plot line's decent, the fight scenes are great. It's an average, good time, easy home invasion, hits all the boxes, done movie. Does it do anything overly new? No. Is Maggie Q funny and delivers some funny one-liners? Yeah. I did enjoy some of her dialogue, and I was invested enough in it, but it is a basic paint by numbers home invasion film. You like that? Watch it. We're looking at a 92 runtime minute here, so you're not going to waste any time. It is on Hoopla for free, and also if you subscribe to Paramount or Paramount Plus, or Paramount Apple TV, it is included. So that's great. In terms of renting, Microsoft Office has it for $2.99. Cineplex has it for $3.99. So it's actually at a pretty reasonable level for renting. So I would say renting is worth it too if you like home invasion movies and if you like Maggie Q. I don't know if you got a mad crush on Maggie Q. Definitely worth it. She looks great in this movie. She's badass and kicks ass. So
Okay.
yeah, I would say if you want something to watch at work, you're bored, Scott, throw it on.
All right, good to know.
Right, smooth. It's smooth enough to watch.
I was like, that's kind of where I'm going nowadays with movies for work, because work's just been too busy to really give my full attention like I used to. So now it's just more easygoing movies that are just simple plot lines, like the next movie we're about to talk about.
Let's put it this way: the movie with Maggie Q is better than this piece of fucking garbage that Blumhouse came out with this year. I didn't think they could do worse than Night Swim. I honestly didn't think it could go worse. This movie is worse than Night Swim.
Yes. So let's just bring the movie in and we can discuss this gem.
Fuck.
This movie is called Afraid, with the
AI is scary.
AI highlighted in red. Be careful what you let in. 84-minute runtime. Curtis Pike and his family are selected to test a new home device, a digital assistant called Aya. Hey, does this plot sound familiar? Because guess what? It's everything you'd expect, and then it gets even stupider. But anyways, Aya observes the family's behaviors and begins to anticipate their needs, and she can and will make sure nothing and no one gets in her family's way. What? Okay, so I'll let you go first.
First of all, Matt gave this 3 stars and said the acting was spot on. Matt, what fucking movie were you watching?
Matt, what? How high were you?
What fucking movie? Like, how much did you drink at the pub before you came home and you watched this? The teenage daughter, I hope, is the only one that has a fucking career after this, because she's the only one that has any acting chops. I don't know what happened with John Chow here, but I think it was the writing maybe for him, the delivery, or how he was directed, but it was painful. It was fucking painful. Fuck this movie. Fuck this bullshit with AI. Fuck Me, honestly, Rob Humphrey is the only one with the correct star rating here at 1.5. Rob, you're right. 1.5 is the best that this movie should get. I have nothing good to say about this film. I usually, besides the teenage daughter, I thought she was fine. The kids, actually, I thought all the kids were good. Props to the fucking children in this film. I thought they did okay. But the mother looked like she was fucking high on Ambient the entire time. And like, it made no sense. It made no sense. This movie made no
Yeah.
fucking sense. And who was the guy they had? David the Martian? He's the one that did the he was in Late Night with the Devil. He played the main guy.
Oh yeah, yeah,
How can he be in that and then be in this piece of shit? Like, you
yeah.
think of him acting in that other one, and then you think of him in this, and you're like, how did that even?
Paycheck.
Because he's so like, it must be the director because he was so bad too.
I'm
He
looking up
sounded
direct.
like a robot directing whenever he did his lines. Like, I don't even think this was written by AI because I think AI would have done a better job.
Oh boy,
Honestly.
so I'm looking up the director's movies: Twilight, New Moon,
Oh, that explains it.
About a Boy,
Oh, well, that's weird.
The Golden Compass, Operation Finale, Down to Earth with Chris Rock, and A Better Life. Okay, yeah, that explains a lot.
You know
Um,
what? And yeah, I don't know. Do you like this movie didn't make any sense. I'm so tired of these AI fucking bullshit films that don't make any sense.
yeah, so here I'll give you my thoughts on this because at first, Heather is going off and like just sending me all these messages. Oh my god, you gotta watch this, or you don't watch this. This is horrible.
No. I said you can watch it, but don't make Erica
Yeah,
watch
don't
it.
make Erica watch it. And I'm like, oh, I want to make Erica watch it. And Erica goes, hell no, I don't want to watch it. I'm like, okay. So I was like, I'll watch this at work then. And I'm watching it, and I'm getting to about the halfway point. I'm going, I don't really see why Heather's so upset at this movie. It's like, it's nothing great. It's okay. It's your basic bitch AI gone wrong, which, it's happening so much now that we created a category for our awards at the end of the year. But like I'm like, yeah, it's not terrible. The writing's not, writing's whatever. And
Hmm.
then the halfway point happens, and this movie goes, you know what? This very basic bitch plot script that we have, just threw it on the ground and took a giant piss all over it and just said, we're gonna create something different and cool and unique. And I don't know if it was drugs or alcohol like Matt was on while he was watching this
Oh
movie,
no, I want whatever Matt had watching this film.
but I want whatever the director had making this movie because
Oh
what the,
man.
the fucking last half of this movie is so fucking stupid. I'm
Or
like,
the
what?
ending. Wasn't the ending so fucking condescending? And
It's
just so like talking about AI like it's 1999.
yeah, like talking about it like it's a living creature that we gotta treat well. And this, I'm like, what is going the fuck on with this? And it's I don't understand what the message was supposed to be. If there was supposed to be a message, I don't understand why the plot went the way it did during the half act and how like it just like was kind of sort of like mind controlling people in a way or manipulating people. For fuck's sakes, people, this is AI. It's okay. You can run away from it. You can destroy it. It's
Or I
just
don't know, unplug it.
yeah. Like this movie made no sense. The plot made no sense.
What if they just left it unplugged, like draining the pool? So everyone has to come out with movies where we're all like,
Right?
think I found some solutions.
Like
But
they unplug it once, but then someone else plugs it back in. But that's all there was to it. It just unplug it and destroy the thing. Just smash it. Oh no! Like I thought like I'm like there's no way this movie's as bad as Nice One, like Heather was saying. And yeah, it's as bad
it,
or worse,
I
and
think
it's
it's
right up
worse
there with Imaginary. Oh
because here's the
God!
thing: imagination land,
Imagination
imagination land.
land.
I think we should do an
Imaginary.
award of which is the worst Bloomhouse film and worst character from a Bloomhouse movie this year, because all three of them are in good contention for garbage.
Yeah, it's like they were making they were about to play some football and they went to punt the ball to make that field goal and they fucking scored. They scored high on the terrible movies this year because
I
good fucking God.
I can't even give what I hate the most about this movie because it's a spoiler, but I'll just say that the reasoning was stupid, why everything was happening, and then the conclusion was even dumber. And it
Yeah.
was just dumb, 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 dumb. It was just dumb, poorly written, poorly put together. It made no sense. It was so silly. And it was just, the one thing I will say is that AI does get smarter and it does learn from people. Like it does. It's been programmed to learn what you need and react to it. That's not wrong. That's the only thing this fucking movie got right.
Yeah.
It's the only thing because I'm on an AI committee at work and we're constantly dealing with shit about like students using AI to cheat. And now you can use AI and be like, okay, AI, make it look like AI didn't write my paper, and it will. It's learned
Mhm.
how to make it sound better, right? So it is learning, but that still is an algorithm. It's not a like I don't. This whole concept
It's
that we
not.
can teach him to feel was cool in iRobot 20 years ago. It's
I was like,
not fucking cool now.
it's not Skynet.
Yes.
Like obviously, like movie 1980s, 1990, Terminator 2 nailed what happens when AI, gets sentience and
Yeah.
starts, taking over. We're not there yet, and the way these movies are trying to make it sound, we'll never be there. The AI is too fucking dumb at this point. Just stop it. It's just,
Yeah.
for fuck's
Stop it,
sakes.
Blumhouse. Please get back to making decent films. Anyway, this is available on Apple TV, Amazon Video, Microsoft Store, Cineplex, and Fandango. If for some reason you want to torture yourself, or you're like Matt and you were doing some really good fucking drugs when you watch this film, I want Tim Davis to watch this, and I feel like he will agree with us that it's
Yeah.
not a good movie. It's not a good movie.
No, though. He liked Imaginary.
Imagination Land, Imagination
Imagination
Land.
land, imagination.
Well, we're gonna move on to Cuckoo because that's how this movie made me feel. I'm actually this is me after watching the AI film. This movie was based on me. All right,
Uh,
have you seen it?
yes, we finished it last night.
Do you like it?
Yes? Question mark?
It's hard to follow, huh?
It's strange. It
It
definitely
is
has an
strange.
art housiness to it.
It's German. Does that not sum everything up for you?
Yeah, and it's by the director that did Lutz or Lulz or whatever it was on Shudder a few years back. I never watched it, but I heard that was a movie that was very
Yeah.
artsy.
Yeah, I'll just read the synopsis quickly. Fear it calls. After reluctantly moving to the German Alps with her father and his new family, Gretchen talk about a more German movie, Gretchen, or name
Right?
Gretchen, discovers that their new town hides sinister secrets as she's plagued by strange noises, frightening visions of a woman pursuing her. I know people have written on the reviews here that this is considered elevated horror with like a slasher element to it, I guess. I think that's a good description. I don't know. This is unreliable narration at parts too. Like you don't really know what's real and what's not real. I found.
Yeah, and there's some weird time loop stuff that's never explained going on.
Yeah.
That really that part really confused me, and I was hoping that somehow that would get explained, but it doesn't. And just,
Yeah.
I mean, I will say performances out of this world.
Mhm. Mhm.
Filmmaking out of this world.
Mhm.
It's the editing amazing, and there are some
Mhm.
legit creepy fucking moments in this, but
Mhm.
it's the kind of confusing story. Like I'm not 100% sure. I think it was kind of like a mad scientist kind of thing going on with playing God in a way. Um, and I will say Dan Stevens definitely plays a good creepy son of a bitch when he wants to. And like I hated the Gretchen's parents, her father and step, the way they treated her after everything that's happened with her mother and how she's handling it, and the way they just treat her and ignore her and all this shit. Like so I will say there is a lot of good in this to the point where I will definitely recommend it.
I think
But
that's a good description.
yeah, but I think go into this having to pay full attention and expecting to either get it or not get all the answers you want. It could go either way.
Yes.
Like for
I think
me, I
that
think I
yeah.
missed something.
I enjoyed the ending a lot. I enjoyed the unreliable narration of the story and not sure what's real and what's not real. But it is their art house. It is kind of like someone compared it to The Shining. I think that's an interesting comparison.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I would say it's worth watching, and I think it go either way for you. I think out of the movies we talked about today, this is one where I really can't say who will like it, who will not. But I
Yeah,
will say it's high quality.
yeah, and I was gonna say, even Tim, if you're listening, I would say check this out just because it should be one that us horror podcasters at least watch for the year. And yeah, because I'm not sure where you will land on this. Luffy, I
Yeah,
think, would probably like it more, but I'm not
yeah.
100% sure either. I would be curious to see Rob's thoughts.
Well, Rob, I
Did,
think he
did he have
has
it?
on here. Yeah, he gave it 3 stars.
Oh, okay.
So he's middle of the road, which is funny. That's how I feel about Rob. So it's kind of fitting. But it's available on Apple TV, Amazon, Cineplex, Microsoft Store, and Fandango. If you are interested, I think we've given it as much as a review as we can without spoiling anything. I don't know.
Yeah,
Check it out.
yeah, because I'd say this is at least sitting at a 7 or a 7.5 out of 10 for me.
Right.
Like
Right.
I think it's good, well made, and I can't argue it. Just something was missing with the story, the way it was told. I think for me.
I agree. I agree. This next one is Bad Fish, and it should just be called Bad Movie. You know who picked this up? Uncorked.
There we go.
There we go.
So Uncorked is kind of coming back with a vengeance.
Uncorked. Even Mickey's barking about it. So, this fish is bad is the tagline.
For fuck's
Yeah.
sakes.
When a marine biologist investigates mysterious deadly attacks on fishermen in the Oregon coastal town, Oregon coastal town. Anyway, he discovers the culprit is okay. I can't give that away. So discovers who the culprit is and has to try to figure it out. This movie's dumb. The acting is fucking dreadful. I found out when I looked at the crew, it was the same guy who directed, produced, and wrote it. So
Which I gotta give respect to for doing something like that.
but the writing is so painful, and there's an actor in this that's just so bad. I think there's a lot of first time actors and actresses in this film, and it is really really painful to watch them interact with each other. Mark Snyder's in this, and I found him really painful. He was in Ghostbusters 2 as the arguing couple. He was in Supernatural, Son of the Pink Panther. I had he's a background actor, and I can kind of see why.
Hmm.
You know, he probably shouldn't be in a lead role ever again. Well, it's not even streaming anywhere yet, and it's probably gonna not end. Well, if this ends up on Tubi, sure, but the payoff's not worth it. It took me 3 times to go back to it to finish it, and it's only 85 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, no. So this is a hard pass. It is not what you think it will be. I thought it would be like ecological horror. It's not. It's just like someone's school project that is really hard to sit through.
Yeah.
So it's Bad Fish, and 10 out of 10 don't recommend.
Bad fish. Bad
Fish. But one that I do recommend, but I will say with the caveat that it's heavy. And
heavy like my dick.
yeah, oh, it's funny you should say that because there's a lot of that in this.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of, but not consensual.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Think Jeffrey Epstein's Island shit, only in a movie. Yeah.
I take it back. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, awkward. It's Blink Twice. Are you having a good time with tech billionaire Slater King, which is ironic because Christian Slater's in this, and I think it's funny that Slater King is the name of it. Meets cocktail waitress Frida at his fundraising gala. He invites her to join him and his friends on a dream vacation on a private island. But despite the epic setting, beautiful people, ever-flowing champagne, and late-night dance parties, Frida can't help but sense that there's something sinister hiding behind the island's lush facade. I will say Tatum Channing is phenomenal in this. He plays. Channing Tatum is very good in this. He plays a questionable character quite well. Okay. Naomi Arkley is the female in this, and she was also portrayed Whitney Houston earlier this year. So she's a very good actress as well. A girl that was in Arrested Development is in this as well. There's some really well-known actors and actresses that are in this. Christian Slater is in this. Haley Joel Osment
Oh,
is in
yeah.
this, right? Gina Davis is in this. So we're
Wow.
looking at a really star-studded cast. It's heavy. I'm going to tell everybody this now. It's really kind of exposing what very rich people do that we know has happened, unfortunately, now through things that have been revealed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're trying to be like, yeah, this shit happens and this is what it is. It's definitely a movie that fits into the Me Too movement, but the outcome is not very like typical of those other films. It's more of trying to survive a situation you're in. And I will say the decisions that are made are smart. This is a
Okay.
movie that Erica would say, besides the initial getting there, but let's be real, if a fucking rich billionaire, like if you were somewhere and I don't know, let's try to think, Mark Cuban, who seems like the nice guy on Shark Tank, invited you to, some fucking island with him and all his friends and it's going to be a big party and you're caught up in them, I could see someone going. I would love to hear people be like, oh no, I would never go fucking do that. Yeah, more than likely you fucking would. If given the chance to do this shit and how this builds up, I think if you can understand why someone would get into this situation, especially when you got to remember how rich this person is and the time that they provide at where they originally meet these people and how it's set up, it looks like a big party. Who wouldn't want to go, right?
Introverts.
Introverts, but like, you know what I mean?
Like,
Like
ew,
I can
people,
say,
ew.
and I like to think I'm pretty smart too, but you know what? I think in that situation, if I was infatuated with somebody and the champagne was flowing and like I would love to be like, oh, I'm better than that. But like I think a lot of people would go.
Oh yeah,
And I don't think there's
it's
anything wrong with that, right? There's a reason why people have entourages like Drake and The Weeknd and all those people, right?
right.
So it's a good film. I definitely think people should watch it this year. Yeah, there's a message to it, but like I don't think the message is anything like in your face. I think it's stuff y'all know about and it's fucking well done. Like it's a good blend of some other movies that have come out over the years. It is available on Amazon, Apple TV, Microsoft Store, and Cineplex for in Canada. And I recommend any rental price. I just want to say that it's dark and that they have a trigger warning at the beginning. And this is a movie where I'm glad they had that. I think there's enough reflective experiences that occur in this film that could be upsetting for somebody.
Yep.
So
And I
yeah,
know our good friend Craig Wooten was like talking about this on our page and like said, yeah, he's like most people would probably consider this thriller. He's like, but the circumstances say this is horror. He's like, I recommend
yes.
you guys check it out.
I would definitely consider it a horror film for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Now I'm excited to hear what you thought of this one.
Yeah, so this one I'm just gonna be quick because you already talked about it. So this one is We Are Zombies. Heather talked about it and recommended it, and she wanted to get my thoughts. I'm sorry, Heather. This was not for me.
Seriously?
Yeah, I tried.
Funny.
I didn't find it funny. Like the humor didn't work for me in
What?
this.
You're
Like it just
lying. You're
no,
lying.
I'm 100% serious. Like
Oh,
this like
God. How did you
this
find this funny?
I think it's I think you gave me almost too high expectations
Are you
by
telling me
saying
that when they showed up to pick up the grandpa zombie, you did not find that shit funny?
no.
What is fucking wrong with you? Are you
I
AI?
yes. Hi there. I'm Smoke Show. How can I help you?
I don't know, man. I thought this was hilarious. Sorry
Yeah,
that
I
you
was gonna
didn't have
say
to
like
take time with it.
and I also I had high hopes because you were saying like this was for you as funny as Shaun of the Dead
Oh yeah.
and then also when you told me the director was the same guy that did Summer of '84 and Turbo Kid and all that stuff, I'm going,
Yeah.
oh fuck yeah, okay, I am on board, but yeah, it just did not work for me. I tried so hard to give this one a chance and I just could not. Like,
Well, Matt gave it 4 stars, so fuck you, Scott.
but he also gave Afraid 3 stars. So
Oh, boy.
Matt is questionable at this moment.
Well, I loved it. I thought it was
Yeah,
really
I was
funny.
gonna
So
say
that's
like
good.
I didn't hate my time with it or anything like that, but I just did not work for me unfortunately. I just wanted to at least let you know I tried. I gave it a shot. I didn't hate it. It just the comedy didn't work for me on this one.
You could have kept that to your fucking self and it would have been just fine.
Well, I know you always want to hear each other's thought. We like to hear each other's thoughts.
No, I only want to hear your thoughts if they agree with what I think. If they don't agree with what I think, then I don't care. It's been 4.5 years of this, Scott. Don't you know this by now?
But I love to just kind of burst the bubble once in a while.
Oh man, whatever. Scott's fucking wrong. Listen to Matt Wood and I. Not about AI, not about Afraid, but you can listen to Matt Wood and I about this. We are zombies.
I think for me, when it comes to horror comedies, it's almost got to be the slapsticky, over the top gore comedy.
But this was over the top, and it was slapsticky.
But it was not gore slapsticky. Like, I'm talking.
Are we not? Did you not watch a scene where someone explodes? Basically.
Yeah, the only part I kind of liked was that weird zombie Frankenstein amalgamation thing at the end. I thought that was really cool. Like I'll give that. The effects were cool.
Okay.
But yeah, just the humor didn't work for me. Where I think maybe Shaun of the Dead did because it's that British humor.
Well, no, I've been to Britain. You haven't. You don't know anything about British humor. You're American.
Hey, I love Monty Python. I know dry humor.
Oh, well, you know what? That's fine. You're totally allowed to your opinion, Scott.
I am, and I know my opinion can be wrong, but
no, there's no wrong. If you didn't find it funny, you didn't find it funny, right? Everyone's different, and that's okay. One person's we're just two little trash pandas just trying to get through. So,
exactly.
From one trash panda to another, I accept that you didn't like my trash, and I take my trash back to my little raccoon hole, and I'll save it for myself. So, but I would save it for wintertime, right? I don't know. Maybe I'll watch it again later. I'll be like, it isn't that funny, but I think I will think it's funny.
No, I'd say and like I say, you and I definitely both have different types of sense of humor.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
everyone's different what they like, right?
Exactly.
It's all good in the hood.
Comedy is very subjective,
right? Unless you're Tim Davis and you don't agree with us, and that's different. We have some common enemies. One is Rob Humphrey, not Tim as much as the Hump.
That's
right?
True.
That's what we really need to know. If the Hump finds it funny, then
I'm well. If he finds it funny, I don't know, because he also enjoys a lot of strange movies that we don't.
Well, we are strange folks, aren't we?
We are.
Right. Well, the last one I'm going to talk about is Don't Turn Out the Lights. Also, don't watch this movie. Reunited for an unforgettable weekend, a group of high school friends take a break from their separate lives at college and to travel by RV to a musical festival. Their exciting winter weekend plans quickly unravel as they find themselves fighting to survive each other in the unknown. I don't know what the fuck's going on with this movie. So this movie is basically about an RV that breaks down, and there's something haunting the RV or around it, or a creature. I don't know. You never really find out what's going on, but there's something more. The reason why they're stuck in the RV in the middle of nowhere. So this is very much stranded in the middle of nowhere survival.
Huh. Okay.
Without a budget.
Oh boy.
So they do a lot for a non-budgeted film. I will give them that. They do a lot for a non-budgeted film. The problem with this film, it is 109-minute runtime. And I really wish they would start making films that are 109-minute runtime if they don't feel like they have enough in it to make it that long and entertaining.
Yeah.
Right? The characters in this are affable enough. They're relatable. You could see these people being friends. The ending is kind of like, I don't know, it followed every horror cliche in the book. So I would say props to the people who made this. Let's see what the crew says here. Same director, writer, producer. Hey man, Andy Flickman, good for you. He also was involved in, directed She's the Man, Game Plan 2, Paul Bart, Mall Cop 2, You Again, The Heathers the Musical. I don't know. He's directed some other stuff. He's also worked with Kevin James a lot. I don't know. Maybe he's really close with Kevin James. I think this is a big pass. Big pass. I would say you won't regret if you skip this movie. And for some,
good to know.
Yeah, for some reason, if you want to watch it, is on Apple, the Apple Store, Google Play, YouTube. I don't know if you really want to support indie horror. Not Scott though, because Scott doesn't like movies, so it doesn't. It's not something he wants.
No, I'm too busy for that bullshit.
Yeah, he's too popular. So I watched a movie called, and I forget how I saw this. I feel like I was cruising around on Facebook, and I saw it be suggested somewhere on a list, and it's called Burning Bright, and it's a 2010 film by Carlos Brooks, and it's his feeding your frenzy after her lousy stepfather steals her savings to buy a vicious tiger. Kelly loses all hope of going to college, but Kelly's situation worsens when a hurricane leaves her and her autistic nonverbal brother boarded up in a house with a man-eating beast. This edge of your seat thriller follows the gutsy heroine and her younger sibling as they struggle to outwit the tiger and survive.
Hmm.
Um, I enjoyed this for what it was. First off, Meatloaf's in it. Shit, rest in
Oh,
peace, Meatloaf. He sells the tiger at the beginning. Um, wasn't overly thrilled about the tiger being in a cage. Didn't love that, but
yeah.
I don't know. I'm assuming that this followed all the animal bylaws that are in place because it was made in the United States, and obviously there's a CG tiger for a big part of it. It was entertaining. I don't know if you like movies where like an animal breaks into a house and you need to fucking survive. It's good. It's only
Yeah.
an 89-minute runtime, and it is on the Tubi,
Oh, okay. Nice.
right?
I like
So
tigers. They're good kitties. They're
they
good
are good
kitties.
kitties. So Carlo Brooks has done this and some other Spanish films, and that is it. So
Oh, okay.
I will say that I enjoyed it for what it was. Tim Davis gave it 4.5 stars.
Oh,
Makes sense. That's definitely sounds like something that he would like. I will say for a tiger in the house and shit gone wrong, it's an entertaining thing. It's on the Tubi if anyone is interested.
all right. I'll check that out. And yeah, like I said, with my older watches, I just put on the Blackwell Ghost. So I already talked about my whole entire franchise dive there when I talked about Part
Is
8.
there any other movies you need to squash for me that you really like?
Uh,
That I like? Scream 3?
uh, yeah, Heather, I'm sorry, but Gremlins and Gremlins 2 are top tier. I'm sorry to tell you this.
You know what? A lot of people do. Like, I'm seeing the Gremlins shit come out more and more now in stores and stuff.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
there's a lot of nerds like you who are under the belief that those are good films. So it's good.
And I went nuts on Gremlin merchandise as I shown you.
Oh yeah, it was pretty good actually. You got some good shit.
Yeah.
So I've been reading too, but Scott's read a horror book, so I'll let him go first. Mine's
All right.
horror, but it's horror of society,
Well, that is totally your style.
right? That is my
And me, I'm
style.
more like, I want something not real.
You're like, I like when they slashy, but it's make believe.
Exactly. So I'm still. This is gonna probably be the last book I talk about from the indie brawl I was talking about the last episode. Where that's just like the whole NBA brackets going against all each
Mm-hmm.
other, these indie authors going against each other. Because they are actually finishing up the semifinals now, and I have to say, two that I have talked about on this show that I really fucking loved are, well, one for sure is in the finals, and the other one is battling it out right now, and so far in the lead. And the one that is in the finals right now is Beta, A Technological Nightmare, which was the AI house gone
Mm-hmm.
wrong one. That was a fucking
Mm-hmm.
amazing story. And then the other one is the one I just talked about last episode, In the Tall Trees, where the perspective of the 4 or 6 year old girl. And yeah, that one is battling it out right now and is in the lead to make it into the finals. If both those make it into the finals, I'm gonna cry because I have no idea who I will vote for. But anyways, so one of the ones that did make it to the like quarterfinals is an author named John Cohn. He did a book called Slash Tag, and what this story is about is it's a story about this multimedia social media slash multimedia thing, just this giant conglomerate company that owns all social media, all TV stuff like this. They are doing a reality show in a haunted house, or quote unquote haunted
Mm-hmm.
house,
Mm-hmm.
and they get different celebrities from around the different media sites to join in on this. So they get like a celebrity chef, they get an actor, they get a reality star actress, they get social media influencer, social media prankster, um, a few others, and put them all in this house together. And it's basically like a giant escape room where you got to figure out the different puzzles and kind of work together to decipher the mystery that's going on. However, and it's being live broadcast. But however, no one knows that what is going on in this house is actually real. Dun dun dun.
Interesting.
Simple plot that we've heard before. But what makes this one really good is all the characters are super engaging. It's written. It's creepy. It's fucked up. The story goes a lot of different twists and turns that I didn't see coming. And what makes this even better, because it was just a very good read, like all the way through, I was just invested. And I would love to see more stories in this world from this author. But what makes this even more fucking impressive is not only did he write this book that I thought was really fucking good,
Hmm.
he also created a website for Slash Tag that is basically like the social media conglomerate's website saying,
That's cool.
here is the history of the haunted house. Here are the people we got to join our escape room and their history, like giving bios of each person. Like, you can expect so and so to be doing this and this and this. And then not only is there all this detailed backstory information that he put on a website, he also created a companion podcast that has
Amazing.
6 episodes, and it's basically like your two generic bro style podcasters that are watching the episodes of Slash Tag happen and discussing, oh, did you see how so and so got taken out? Who do you think's going to be next? And oh, we're going to have an interview with the social media conglomerate's owner and chief of the company and get their details. Oh, we're going to have an interview with one of the actors that didn't make it through the show. And like, it's just adding more realism to this world that he built.
I
And
love it.
there's also a board game called Grindhouse that is based off of Slash Tag that he also made
I
and is
love it.
selling. And apparently there's also what is called an interactive book called Can You Escape Slash Tag or something like that I want to read. So it makes me wonder if it's like a choose your own adventure in the world of Slash Tag. But like, this guy has gone all out to make this just like this elaborate, breathable, realistic world and makes it so interactive. It is like, for an indie author, I give this guy fucking props. He did amazing with this.
That's
And I like,
amazing.
and yeah, the book itself, like, I absolutely love the book. And then listening to the podcast after just added more elements to the book, which just made it even better. So I say, like, if you guys are interested in indie authors and indie horror, definitely check out his book. It's Slash Tag by John Cohn or John Con. It's Jon, and then the last name is Cohn. And I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce the last name, but definitely check that out. And then if you do read that book, definitely check out the website and the podcast afterwards, because I think it's also labeled in the book where you can find that stuff at the end. But
Nice.
highly recommend.
Nice. I just am reading the Deadly Rise of Anti-Science by Peter Hotz. It's a problem,
Yeah,
particularly in America.
shocker.
It's a big problem. It's we read we have a lot of horror movies that come out about COVID and people not doing vaccines. And there's times where I'm like, oh fuck, I get it, but like, if people don't get vaccinated, it does make other people at risk of things like polio. And when we start to see rises of diseases because a group of individuals have decided to publish misinformation, and for the record, doing your own research is not watching a YouTube video. Doing your own
Right.
research is reading journal articles that have been evaluated by other scientist peers. And if you really want, going into a lab and doing your own Bunsen burner research, which most people are not going to be able to fucking do because they don't have access. So you need to read reputable resources, because there are resources that will state the effectiveness of vaccines and talk about how they've been processed and all that other kind of stuff. But to think that you watch a YouTube video from Joe Rogan telling you that horse tranquilizers are a solution to something and you call that your own research, that is not your own research, that is watching a YouTube video.
Yep, that is someone
So,
else's research that you mimicked.
and it's not even real research.
Yeah,
There's no scientific journal where horse tranquilizer is a treatment for fucking
right.
COVID. Like, there's one thing, if you just want to say I don't believe in getting vaccinated because I don't want medicine in my body, I would have way more respect for that than I did my own research. You didn't do your own research. You didn't read like 90 scientific journals. You didn't fucking go to a university and do lab work. You
But
didn't do
Heather,
your own research.
Heather, I am part of the generation that's, the too long didn't read generation. And I'm not going to sit there and read no smarty pants book. I am going to listen to Alex Jones on his podcast tell me about how the water has turned the frogs gay. Can you believe that shit? The water turned the frogs
Oh, man, I
gay.
got a bunch of homo frogs just hopping around
It's
everywhere. What's
ridiculous.
next? Gay
next
frogs.
it's gonna slowly turn us gay. Can you believe this shit?
Oh man. Oh, he's like, I hope it turns me gay. I've been drinking a lot of the water so far.
I'm drinking it right straight from the teat.
He's like, I still like cock. I don't understand what's wrong with me. I changed my water source and everything. Yeah. This book is interesting because yes, it's a reflection on the rise of people not wanting to believe scientific tested stuff, but also just like it kind of pulls into horror because we do have a rise of this in our horror films, and there's a reason why. It's
Yeah,
because there are people out there who, and again, if you choose not to be vaccinated or you choose not to have a medical treatment, that is your choice, but it does affect possibly other people around you, and you're not doing your own research unless you are reading multiple scientific journals, which the average person does not have access to unless you go to a library or a university library, and you're a scientist doing your own scientist research. That's it. And you've gone
exactly.
to school and you've learned how to do all that. And I just wish people would stop saying doing my own research. I'm so fucking tired of it. It's not like looking for a fucking restaurant you want to go eat the best tacos at, okay? You
Right.
cannot find this shit on Google. All right? Like you have to go to reliable sources. Anyway, thank you to anti-vaxxers because you're creating lots of great horror movies for us to watch that may become reality. Yay.
Right.
Yay.
It's true.
So yay. So I will be away for a couple of weeks. I am going back to England to see friends, and I am going to Belfast, Ireland as well. So I'll be gone for a little bit. And Scott's not upset about it at all. He doesn't want to hear about my trip, so I don't share anything with
Oh
him.
god, no.
Doesn't care.
I know I want to know all about this trip.
No, he doesn't. He's a big meanie, and he doesn't like my horror movies I like, and then makes fun of me for traveling. So just kidding.
Oh,
I'm going
folks, stop
back to.
talking about it
Oh my
already.
god.
He
Oh,
hasn't even
thanks.
left yet. God, this is
And
terrible.
Phil's won't shut her fucking mouth. And Matt's
We're
like,
not even gonna make it to episode 100. That's it.
Matt, we're about to make our own horror movie. I hope you made sure to like. She came over. She knew where he was. It's just me being like, Matt, like, trying to get into his
Matt,
house.
why did you like Afraid?
She's like,
Do you have any of those drugs you were on when you
oh
watched
man.
it?
Right? But yeah, poor Matt. I feel like every time I go to England, he feels like every like super stalker movie's gonna happen to him. There, you know what I mean? Like he's gonna have to watch that one about Maggie Q and figure out how he's gonna defend himself in the house all
and
night,
he's
right?
and when he hears this, he's gonna be like, "Oh bloody hell, Heather!"
Oh, don't worry. This will be after I've already come back, Matt. By the time this gets edited and released, don't worry. So Scott and I, for our episode 100, are going to go through and we're going to select. How many did we decide?
We were
50?
talking like top 30 of
Yeah, we'll do
the
that. Yeah,
since
that
we
sounds good.
started, like basically of the years 2020 to 2024 of, well, should we add 24 in there or just leave that for, our end of the year show stuff?
I don't know. We can talk about it later. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think it really matters, but we can talk about it later. But yeah, we'll be talking about our favorite movies that have come and passed and reliving them and
Yep, since we started recording technically. So yeah,
since
2020.
since we started back in the day. So looking forward to that. We hope everyone can join us for that when that comes out in 2026. It will be fabulous.
Yeah, and it'll give me plenty of time to get caught up and rewatch some of
Oh
these
my god.
that you
For the
watched.
love of God, can you not take fucking 3 months to get ready for this? Can we at least do it within a reasonable time for when I come home?
You know, I want a year to edit it, so let's at least push. So it's at least push it back to January 2025. Okay.
All right. Yeah. It will be before that, everybody. Don't worry. We need
Yeah.
to hit 100 by the end of this fucking year. And we're right there. We're so close.
No, but
Um,
I will be focusing on it like because that's why I say I'm like, oh, we don't have to really worry about 2024s too much while you are away because the next episode's going to mainly be focusing on those top 30 movies. So I was like, yeah, that give me time to rewatch some of these.
yeah, we kind of need to catch up on some 2024s too and become a premium podcaster like you were.
Eh,
So here at Friday Nightmares, we have 99 problems, but our own Patreon ain't one. But we are part of the Legion Podcast Network and part of their Patreon channel. So please, if you have a chance to support them in any shape or way, you support Scotty and I and the other amazing podcasters that are there. And that's it. So thank you so much for listening to the podcast today. Oh, Scott's interrupted me. Scott, do you need? Okay, fine. Scott, is there something you want to tell everybody?
what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Join us. Please. We're lonely over here. Join us, won't you? Okay, that's all I needed.
You actually looked like is it Channing Tatum? Channing
Channing
Tatum.
Tatum.
Did I say it? Yeah, sorry, I'm like that right there from Don't Blink.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was creepy. So
Perfect.
we will be back again in a couple of weeks. Scott will someday get this out. Hopefully you hear this while I'm away, living my best life drinking. Thank you as always for your support and being here for 99 episodes. Thank you to Tim and Daniel and Rob, who I harass, and Scott does too every single episode. We love your fluffy bum bums. And to be honest, I don't know if we'd be the podcasters we are today, premium professional podcasters, without your support and role modeling. Big shout out to Sandra Kane, Jason Gray, Craig Wooten, Philip Ray, Dave Z, if he still listens, Brandon Orlick. I know he doesn't listen,
Lance,
but Lance Lanford,
Matt and Kate,
Matt and Kate.
Craig and
Appreciate all
Phil and
Craig.
Peter, like
Hey,
everybody
shit.
that listens.
Yeah, everyone that listens and shown us love over the years. We really do appreciate it. Thanks for coming. Thanks for
Did we
sticking
say
it out
Rob?
with us.
Did we say
Oh
Rob?
yeah,
Because
Rob. I said Rob.
okay, I want to make sure because I know Rob would be like, "You guys didn't mention me at the end. I'm gonna."
Oh, here's the thing. Rob doesn't invite us onto his podcast, so that would serve him right.
Ooh,
Mm,
burn! But
right?
but we're also in bed by the time he records, from what it sounds
Yeah,
like.
I know. We are in bed by the time he records. But anyhow, do you have anything to say to the good people, Scotty?
Oh, just thank you as always for listening and keeping us honest and keeping it real with us. And crazy to think that we're running into episode 100 soon. Holy shit. So yeah, thank you all so much for the support and the love and the shit talking. Appreciate it all. And until next time, kitties, unpleasant dreams.
See ya. That was funny. Oh, shit.